Today on Melanated Conversations, we amplify the voices of Vanielle Lewis and Lakrisha Toliver, the owners and stylists of VK Beauty Bar. This dynamic duo powered up together in business to create and offer an upscale, relaxing environment inside the salon. Catering to the everyday on-the-go businesswoman, VK Beauty Bar's top priority is to educate their clients on the importance of healthy hair inside as well as outside of the salon. Tune in to our candid conversation as we chat on the power of working together and all things hair with Vanielle and Lakrisha of VK Beauty Bar. Welcome to Melanated Conversations, our narrative from our perspective.
Here on the podcast, we are amplifying the voices of Black women and sharing their powerful stories of transformation.
I'm Tyrion.
And I'm Yana. Let's start the show.
Welcome back to another episode of Melanated Conversations. I am your co-host, Tyrion.
And I'm your co-host, Yana.
And this is another group chat series that we are having today. I'm super excited about this conversation because we are going to be talking about all things hair care.
Yes.
We know hair is important to us and to Black women. It is very important. Mm-hmm. And so we've got two very special guests with us today. Vanielle and Lakrisha from the VK Beauty Bar. And I'm super excited about having this conversation today. What about you, Yana?
Oh, I am too. You know, especially right now, if hair wasn't important before, when you don't have your salon specialist, your hair care specialist in reach, and you got to put your own hands in your head.
Mm-hmm.
I need this chat so badly right now. So I'm so happy that they have said yes to this conversation. So welcome, Lakrisha and Vanielle. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
You're welcome. Hey, ladies.
Hey, how are you? Good. So I think normally what we would start off with would be our rapid fire questions, but I think we're going to save that for the end for some fun stuff. So I think we're going to go straight into our conversation, right, Yana?
Yeah. So as we get ready into our chat, can you ladies both share a little bit about yourselves and how you both got into the hair care industry?
Okay, well, Vanielle's going to go because she's the V in VK. Yes, I'm Vanielle. I was born and raised in Chicago, a little bit of my history. Grew up there. I was always the one in the family that they would call to do everyone's hair, the braids, the roller sets, everything. So I'm like 8 years old on the porch in Chicago, like roller set and braiding hair. So as time went by, my mom kind of guided me towards being a cosmetologist. She was like, I think that's your calling. That's what you should do. So I went to cosmetology school, graduated, and kind of started my career off in the city of Chicago. And that's pretty much how I got into the beauty world. That is pretty much my story. I did hair in Chicago for about 12 years in an upscale salon, then relocated to Little Rock, Arkansas, and got married and started my clientele over here. And that's kind of how I ended up in Arkansas, being a hairstylist.
Okay, I'm Krisha. Born in California, but basically raised here in Little Rock, North Little Rock High, whatever. And I used to do my friends' hair all the time in school. I didn't know that was something that I wanted to do at the time. I just got Devo, kind of into doing it. I really enjoy just the outcome of seeing people be happy about their hair. And when I learned that something that I wanted to do is I was working for AT&T for like 5 years, and I was kind of over it. And I was like, I really need to find something that I want to do and grow from. So what I did was kind of just sit back and really have a self-evaluation. And I was like, okay, what am I good at? So I was like, oh, well, hair, whatever. So I visited beauty school and started from there. And here I am 10 years later, still rocking it out, doing hair and really enjoying it and doing it with great company.
Nice. Now, okay, I didn't say this at the very beginning when I opened the show, but Lakrisha and I actually went to high school together. Lakrisha, you're a year old. Did you graduate a year before?
Yeah, I graduated in 2001.
Okay, yes. So I'm gonna share what I remember my encounter with Lakrisha. Lakrisha, you tell me if you remember this as well. So I had been going to private school my entire life, and I decided my junior year of high school, actually a little bit before my junior year, but really made that final decision going into my junior year of high school that I wanted to go to public school. Now, I had been a cheerleader, middle school, beginning of high school and all that, but I knew that like the public school game was a little bit different. And I remember it was close to the end of the school year, getting ready to go into my senior year, and cheerleading tryouts were coming up, and I knew Lakrisha was a cheerleader, and she was a really good cheerleader, and I looked up to her, and I don't remember like the circles we ran in were necessarily like the same circles, but we knew some of the same people. But I felt like I got the courage one day to just come up to you and be like, I'm thinking about trying out for cheerleading. Like, what do you think? Should I? And you were like, yeah, and I'll help you. And I remember going through clinics, and you were like a big sister to me, and like helped me through clinic. And I made the cheerleading squad, which completely blew my mind that I actually had made it. And so yeah, like that's
I remember.
That's a pretty like huge memory that I have, or like encounter that I have with you. I was wondering if you remember that.
Yes, girl, I still remember that.
So thank you. I don't know if I ever told you thank you, but thank you so much.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure. I had so much fun. I miss those days.
Yes, the good old days.
Yes, honey.
High School.
Yeah.
Well, Yana, did you have anything to follow up?
No.
Okay. So, my next question for you ladies, can y'all share about the origin of the VK Beauty Bar, and the power of working together, getting this off the ground? I am curious to know, how do you ladies know each other? How did y'all meet?
Well, we both were actually at the time working in salon suites, which if you're not familiar with salon suites, people out there, it's a one-person suite. You can have up to, I think, 2 people working in the suite. They're individualized, so you can run your whole mini salon out of one suite. So it's usually in a building of a couple of suites. I was in one, Krisha was in one next door to me. And when I first moved there, I came from a salon. I won't say it. It was kind of toxic. I had just kind of had it up to here with working in a salon, and I was like, that's it. Salon suites had just came on the scene. I was like, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to open up a suite and just do things my way. And I'm just like totally cut off from women and blah, blah, blah. And just kind of going through like a bitter stage of my life. So I had this neighbor next door named Lakrisha. And of course, she just did not want to let me be great. So she just came in and barged in my suite and was like, girl, what are you doing in here? Let me see, you got this yellow paint. I was just really into these colors at this time. So I had painted my whole suite yellow. Those are just like my brand colors. And she just busted in and was like, hey girl, my name is Krisha. What you doing? What's going on? Where you come from? And so that kind of started the friendship from there. So.
Yeah, she tried to hide away in there. But I wouldn't let it go, being me. I had to kind of bust in there and see what was going on. I was like, what is she doing in here? Like, she got the curtains closed. She don't talk to nobody. I was like, I ain't having you.
So Vanielle was off in the cut.
Yeah, and like when she first came around to kind of see the suites and stuff, I was already working there. So she came around, she was like, hey, you know, she was nice then. And then she got in her room and closed the door. I was like, no, ma'am. I was like, we cool now, so I'm gonna come to your room. So that's kind of where we became. That's when our friendship started, and that was what 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, that was about
like
6 years ago.
Yeah, about 6.
So, so back to like the origin of BK Beauty Brand and like coming together, and getting this thing off the ground. Why do you both think it's so important for women to work together and not against each other?
I truly think that I wouldn't have been able to do this alone, because you need like somebody to really talk to and really understand what you're going through when you're trying to open up a business and searching for that right building. You know, Vanielle and I, we went months of looking at places and trying to figure out what we like. It would be some places we agree on, some places we didn't. It would always be something wrong with the place, you know. So to have that extra person that was having the same vision as I was, it made it a lot easier to have that motivation, because it would be days where I'm crying and I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. This is stressful. And she was like, it's okay. You know, we're going to do it. And then, you know, vice versa. She would have her days and I would kind of piggyback off each other. And with our friendship, it works really, really well because we're the same, but not the same. You know what I mean?
Yes. And then also working at Salon Suite, I learned a lot about myself, as well as I'm sure Krisha did, is working alone sometimes. I mean, it can be a good thing sometimes, but sometimes it's just not the move. Like, I learned that a lot of ideas can kind of roll out in your life when you just have that team or that surrounding or that person around you to kind of pull it out. One of your friends or your peers could have their strong points that kind of balance out your weak points, you know, right. And that for me, that's what Krisha kind of done, you know, vice versa, where we have our weak areas, we have our strong areas. So I think that working together as women, a lot of times, you know, you see that, especially in the Black communities, right, where we're all working against each other, the crab in a barrel mentality. And it's really, you're only as strong as your team. Like, you know, you can get so much more done as a team, you know, especially when you're open and you forget what you know and you just kind of open up your mind and listen to different ideas. I mean, it's powerful what you can do as a team.
Yeah, so teach you a lot about yourself when you kind of have to let your guard down. Actually take someone else's opinion into consideration and things like that, with just anything as small as, you know, picking out a curtain or, you know, just anything as far as a business. It teaches you how to see things in a different light instead of being in the suite and you're only your own boss. You basically can't go out and do, you know, things as a team. You don't have anyone to look forward to. It's just like you're in this room with your clients and that's it.
No, I agree, and I thank y'all for sharing that, especially this whole mentality about, you know, us working together as women, right. And I just thought about it. It just made me think about Terry and I, and, you know, with us starting the podcast, you know, right. we both have our strengths, but combined, it's just so amazing how those two powers combined can create something so special and unique. And
right.
But when you can get to a space to where you're doing it for it's, of course, egos are in check or in balance. You understand, right. You recognize, you can pull yourself.
You know, we all have our moments, especially being strong women.
Yeah. Right. But you know when you can pull yourself back and be like, okay, right. You take the reins on this one. That's not my area. I'm gonna let you lead there. Right. I'm gonna do what I do here. Yeah. But you know, we think about it from the common goal and the mission of us just, you know, getting it done, you know, and standing behind the vision, always leading with the vision and not, you know, who gets the recognition, because at the end of the day, if you're both getting it done, it's for the betterment for you both, and the vision is going to be met. So I agree. We, as women in general, but especially because, you know, we're uniquely talking about Black women, how much further we can get by just leaning on each other and really
lifting each other.
Yeah, and lifting each other. Yes. Or were you about to say something, Terry?
No. I'm over here shaking my head and agreeing. I'm letting you go. I agree with everything y'all are saying. Continue.
I want to ask, like, for you both. So, okay, you got into the space where you built this bond and this friendship. You work alongside each other. Kind of in the standpoint from your suites. When did you get to that point to like actually come together to formalize VK Beauty Bar? And do you guys each have your own set of specialties within the area of hair care needs?
When we first set out to do the salon, we did have a certain type of vibe in salon culture. We wanted to create almost like a women's retreat, kind of, upbeat, contemporary. We wanted people to be able to come in the salon, have fun. Well, women come in the salon, have fun, just, have a drink, let your hair down, get your hair done in peace, and just kind of have fun with it. We think kind of what VK Beauty Bar sets us apart from other salons is, one, that we're a duo. Two, we both are very different. We have a lot of the same views, but we both are very different. And I think that, that kind of brings the vibe in itself. And I also specialize, first things first. First thing, we specialize in healthy hair. That's our number one thing before we do anything, both of us. But me, Vanielle, I specialize in extensions. That is kind of like an option, my clients want to go to when they get bored with their natural hair. So that is kind of my specialty, is extensions.
With me, our kind of thing as far as in coming together, it was to the point to where we just really wanted to create something for women that was different, like be able to come in. You don't have to worry about a whole bunch of people here. Like our appointment times are where you're here by yourself. So it's not, you have to worry about, it's 3 people over here she got to do before she gets to me. Or, I'm having to pay all this money and then I'm sitting here all day. Like it's basically, we wanted to create that quality service where you're coming in and you're getting that what you're paying for, like you're getting refreshments. We're making sure you're good. We're making sure you need anything. We check on you constantly. It's your appointment time only. It's not yours and everybody else's. And it gives you time to bond with your stylist, because a lot of people don't get to bond with their stylist or talk about things or build relationships when you have 5 other women in the room too. You don't want to really talk about your business to everyone in the room, or waiting all day, or sitting in the salon for 8 hours. You got kids, you're trying to be on the go, you're trying to come in, get your hair done and, get out, but also get that quality service. So that's something that sets us apart from a lot of people out here. We try to make sure that you have drive-up parking, you don't have to worry about running to the car and all that in the rain, things like that. As far as in what I like to specialize in, I really like to do a lot of different things, but my main thing is coloring hair. Like just, it's so many different type of things you can do when you're coloring hair, darken, lighten, highlights, just balayage, just a lot of different ways that you can do. And I also like to do pixie cuts as well. That's kind of something that I've been doing since before I started doing hair. I used to cut my own hair. So those 2 are my passion, what I like to stand out for. But we really want VK Beauty Bar to be something for the modern women, like mothers, or single women, just anyone to come in and be able to have just that moment of peace.
I love the fact that that y'all really took into consideration the idea of when someone is coming in, when a client is coming in for an appointment, that is their time. That's time that they've carved out of their day to come and to make sure that they're taking care of themselves. Mm-hmm. And that they don't have to worry about, how many people are behind, or is my stylist going to rush me, rush through the process on me because they're trying to, fit everybody else in. I love that. And I think that's huge and that's important. And that's definitely going to keep people coming back to you for sure. The other thing that
and you kind of started talking about this a little bit, Krisha, but the idea of like, whenever you have a client, and we know as Black women, like the going to the beauty salon and getting our hair done is, it goes hand in hand with our mental health. You become like a counselor for us, or just a place where we sometimes we can just kind of release. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know from y'all's perspectives as cosmetologists, can you share how deep hair care plays into the Black culture as it relates to mental wellness for Black women coming and sitting in your chairs every day?
Absolutely. A lot of my clients that I've been doing for years, I've seen them go from, being single to mothers to wives to divorced, back single, and I think that every part in a woman's life is crazy, but requires a different hairdo or hairstyle. I have clients coming in that have went through the divorces, are going through divorces, and are like, just cut it all off. Just cut, I want a shortcut. It's going to make me feel, this way, or it's going to make me feel like, a new person. Or I have clients that come in that are like, well, I'm going to be a bride, I'm getting married, I want to do long hair. I've never done long hair. I want extensions, and I want them real long, and I want them blonde. It's going to make me feel, sexy for my husband, and or when you set out to get that new job, and it's like, okay, I need to look, corporate. Yeah, I need to look corporate. I need to go in looking like, I know what I'm doing. So I think, hair care plays a big role in, your mental, because when you look good, you feel good. So, and that's starting with your, outside appearance.
Right. And just like she said, we watch, our clients go through milestone and lifetime changes, and it means a lot to them when they come in. And I'm like, hey, how did this go, last time or whatever? I remember you telling me about, when we actually build that rapport with the client and really remember their kids' names, you remember the mother name, you're trying to remember everybody's birthdays, just things that make people feel special, like little things. That's the thing that sets us apart, is the small things that count when you're actually, when they're talking to you and you're listening to everything that they're saying, and then you can remember it for the next time they come, be like, hey, how was it? Are you feeling better? I know you were sick last time, or making sure when they come in, oh, it's their birthday, let's give them a birthday card, or let's have treats this day, just different things like that really, I think helps with a lot of women. And I think we all need that as women this day and age, because we work so hard.
Yes, I love that. Another thought just popped into my mind. I'm just curious, because a lot of times as stylists, you are seeing your clients watching them literally go through life milestones, right? And sometimes moments can be heavy, like you said, someone's going through a divorce or loss of a family member or something like that, or they're sick. How does sometimes, because you're having to carry a lot of that, or you're receiving a lot of that information, how does that affect your mental health? Is that ever take a toll on y'all?
I mean, it does. At one point in time, it seemed like all of my clients were going through a divorce, and I'm, right now, knock on wood, happily married. So, that kind of, was heavy. But being a professional stylist, you have to learn where to cut things off and what to take home, and what to leave at the salon, and how deep you want to go with that client, because some clients will get deep, and you just have to kind of learn how to cut some things off and leave at work, or sometimes you have to change the direction of the conversation when it's just getting, too heavy, or sometimes even possibly, hey, this relationship isn't working, maybe, you should find a different stylist, so I can refer you to someone else, or, whatever the situation may be. Not in all cases, but some cases, you just have to make a professional decision for yourself so you can be healthy to come to work every day.
And what she means by that, like sometimes, we'll have we have, you know, we're emotional. Like, that's just us. That's just our nature. You know, we have our days where something at the job may have made me upset, or my relationship's not going the way I want. And of course, we're their number one person. They're going to dump all that on. So it kind of, you have to decide on, okay, is this a healthy dump, or is it a kind of toxic dump to where it's affecting my life and my home style? So it depended on, you know, like, you may have that one person that'll come in and be like, oh, you know, well, my hair didn't work this time. And you're like, okay, you know, no problem, let's fix it or whatever. And then they continuously do that. It's kind of not, at that point, you have to decide, am I the problem, or is it something deeper than that? So when you cut that off and you just be like, okay, look, I, you know, love doing your hair. This is something I love doing. I don't want to have a job to where I feel like I'm stressed out every time you come. So with that being said, you know, you have to either learn to separate it, or, you know, or talk to your client about it. Try not to bring it home, but it is a lot that we carry on our shoulders as stylists. It's not just doing hair. It's more of getting to know your person, understanding them, understanding their moods, and, oh, well, she don't really want to talk today, so we're going to just do hair. So, you know, you have to know that person, and it's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, I love that. One thing I thought about is when you mentioned earlier about how, and Terry, you touched on this too, about how you guys are there for like different transformational moments in women's lives, and you're going through their hair journey with them. This is more of a question for the group, since this is a group chat. I'm curious to know for each of you, like, well, let me kind of back up just a little bit. So hair, I feel, is like an outward expression for us. It can be like our canvas to really express how we feel, or really to just, you know, hair plays into just, like you said, into our emotions, into our things mentally. And sometimes we wear our hair for, you know, different reasons. It could be for ease of manageability, because we want to change it up a little bit. We want to express ourselves a different way. We want to change it up. But I feel like sometimes, I think other cultures, they can freely express themselves through their avenue of hair. When I'm talking about like wild and crazy colors or different hairstyles, and they can go out and about freely without having to consciously think about how they're going to be portrayed. I asked this, I'm getting ready to ask my question, but this is coming from, because I've worked in the past in corporate life as HR, and being on the front line fighting and advocating for, you know, there to be this, to quit this divide on what is acceptable for work and what's not. When we can have someone from one culture that can wear purple hair, but when someone Black wears purple hair, it's too far-fetched. It's called unprofessional or unkept or things of that nature. I know you're both in the realm of hair care, but have there been moments for both of you, and Terry, you can apply this question applies to you as well. Has there been a moment for you where you had to experience altering your hair for this quote unquote view of professionalism?
For me per se, I haven't had that problem. I have had clients that are, you know, they said that they would want to do, you know, maybe some purples or some blues, just kind of show their other side, you know, the fun side, but their job, you know, the corporation that they're working in, it's just not going to allow them to do that. So yeah, that's something. And then I've been around Caucasian. The salon I came from was all Caucasian salon. So I've colored, you know, different crazy colors and stuff, and just kind of ask them where do they work and things like that. Some of them have work, you know, in banks or anywhere. So yeah, it's definitely double-sided when you come down to as far as us being told it's not professional, and sometimes, you know, Caucasian, they can slide with it. So I hate that it's like that, but sometimes, yeah, I've had a few clients that have to kind of keep it on the brown, black, or blonde hair color side instead of, you know, just kind of really going rainbow kind of type thing.
Yeah, Vanielle? Me, myself, I haven't really experienced that with clients. I think probably maybe the type of clientele I have. I mean, I've had some teenagers that have wanted to dibble dabble in different colors that I've done in the past, or, you know, for a Halloween party or something like that. Me, myself, I haven't, you know, had a client come in and ask for that, or that is dealing with that. Military, yes, I have. They can't have certain things, but that's a different story. But, you know, I'm very much woke, and I see it every day. So I do see the difference. You know, for other races, they can be more creative with their hair color or clothing or whatever, and not get judged for it. I see that daily. You know, in the community, on movies. I mean, we see it daily. So yeah, and unfortunately, it is a downside to being African American.
Yeah, I think I've shared this a couple of, I think last season we kind of had a conversation about this, but, you know, definitely even just changing my mindset as far as, you know, I call it decolonizing my mind, as far as just what I thought was acceptable for, as far as what Black women should look like and how we should wear our hair. And so, you know, when the whole natural movement really started to kind of kick back up again, I was like, so we just out here just wearing our hair any old kind of way. I'm like, that's what we doing? But, you know, interesting enough, at the same time, I think, but then at the same time, there was like a piece of me that was like, man, I wish I could wear my hair like that. Like, but you know what I'm saying, was kind of off in the cut judging, but still at the same time kind of wishing like I could be free like that too. Right. And so, you know, just over, you know, a couple of years of process and different things like that, and just deciding, you know what, I'm gonna take a deep dive in on the natural hair side. And, you know, I did, and I was like, man, this is the best decision I've ever made. I'm not ever going back. But I do remember even when I made that transition and I was working in education, and you know, people were like, oh, like, oh my gosh, like, you need to grow your hair. Like, I had cut everything off, you know what I'm saying? So it was like people that don't look like us making comments, or saying, oh, you look like I think somebody said I look like a wet llama, something like just all sorts of, yeah, like we was being real reckless out here. So, you know, I definitely had my fair share of, you know, people judging me, number one, judging initially and not understanding, you know what I mean? Being secure enough in myself and appreciating true beauty that we as Black women possess in our natural state. But then also once I got on the other side of that, and then receiving the backlash in some instances from it, and not all the time, actually, I would probably say probably more people, and when I say people, I'm talking about white people. Probably more white people have praised, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh, I love your hair, it's pretty, all that other stuff. But at the same time, I definitely don't live for their approval. And I know not to do that. But there were definitely, you know, a handful of, you know what I'm saying, folks that was being real reckless. And I was like, wow, that's what we doing?
Yeah, right. They'll mix it though. Yeah. Those side comments, and you kind of look at them like, oh, okay, so that's how you feel.
Exactly.
It really shows you a whole nother side when you cut the hair off and start from scratch.
Yep.
Because I've been there. I've cut mine completely off like an inch low and kind of started from scratch, and boy,
yes,
you learn some stuff. I tell you.
You ain't never lied.
But Tyrion already knows my story. I've probably big chopped 3, 4, 5. I don't have a problem cutting my hair off. Let's just say that. I feel I've been natural for years. It coincides with Tyrion's wedding anniversary because I chopped my hair right before her wedding, which is a big surprise for her.
And that's when my brain was still colonized too, child.
I showed up to them. Yeah, I showed up to the wedding rehearsal. I was like, hey, I'm here. She was like, oh.
Wedding.
Because her thing was, this was still in the age of body wraps. Everybody get their hair wrapped up. And Tyrion was like, I want
power.
Right.
People.
Yes.
Tyrion was like, I want all my bridesmaids to have body wraps. I said,
I mean,
there was no warning.
I had like a fade. I was like completely like no hair. So
and you probably did it like right when it was like not a lot of products out and you didn't really know what you were doing type thing. So it was kind of like, hey, I'm here.
So I think for me, I won't say I've always been like I don't want to call it a rebel with my hair, but I think too, as it goes back to the conversation about hair care and professionalism, because I saw it so often, and by me being in HR and oftentimes being sometimes the only Black person that was on the side of HR, I don't know, I just felt like it was a duty of mine to like really kind of, I don't want to say light the path. I'm not like I'm not calling myself a revolutionary or something, but maybe I was. But I would show up in, I love my curly hair. So I would wear my hair curly, but I would also I love my braids. And, sometimes I'm the only Black person, Black woman too, in the room. And I'm a room full of white men that were quote unquote VP and up levels, and that just being a moment of like, okay, I'm sitting in here not for me but for other women too. And I would walk out some of those rooms and some women would be like, oh my gosh, I love your hair, I'm glad to see that someone looks like me that can freely just express themselves. And I'm like, yeah, you can too. I was like, I understand that, it's hard sometimes to break outside of that mold, but I don't know. It's just it always affected me in some way, especially in that profession, seeing how we allowed it to be okay in certain instances, but we have to be conscious in every room that we step in if we're being quote unquote accepted. So I was just curious just to hear, like, has anyone had those experiences, or if you had clients that kind of had that shared into those experiences. So
yeah, we've definitely had clients, to come in like, I wouldn't dare go natural. I'll never do that. I'm just gonna stay with my creamy crack. I'm gonna do this relaxer, blah blah blah. And then some of mine would end up, seeing me when I was going natural, because Terry I had a relaxer and a pixie all my life. Yeah. So when I cut mine off, it started intriguing my clients to want to go natural. They're like, oh, well, maybe it's not like that. And I'm like, well, you can be natural. You don't have to wear it in its curl pattern, but you do have the best of both worlds, because you can straighten it and you can wear it curly. You don't have to just be stuck with one way, so a lot of my clients started at that time transitioning as I was transitioning. So it really worked out really well. The hair is a lot healthier. The bond is a lot stronger. You really can tell the difference. And I teach them, like when I'm shampooing the hair, I'm like, well, feel the difference between what your, new growth is and your relaxed ends that we're trying to transition off is. So yeah, it's a battle, a constant battle with us in our hair.
Yeah. And I don't want this to feel like this is a relaxed versus natural hair conversation, because I know sometimes that we can fall into that trap within our own culture, this versus this, or hair weave versus not. And for me, and I'm pretty sure for you, for both of you and you, Terry, and what we advocate for is healthy hair and the freedom to express you, and what makes you feel good, what makes you you. And if that means throwing in some extensions, throwing on a wig, because Terry, I'm good for a good wig that it may be a curly wig, but I'm good for a wig too. Whether there's locks, whether it's braids, whether it's color, no color, it's bald, it's whatever.
Whatever you want to do with your hair, and that's what us as African American women need to realize. You can't judge everyone by what they're wanting to do, because everybody's not the same.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
You have people that want to have no hair. You have people that want hair down to their back. It's just. all what that person prefer, but you shouldn't judge another woman by when she's walking down the street like, oh my God, her fro is so big and da-da-da-da, you know, it's dry looking or something like that. Or if you see somebody with weave, well, why she's wearing a wig, you know, like just things like that. It's because we want to. It's just something that we want to do.
And not only that, I think too, which you both alluded to earlier, is back to those milestones. We are constantly changing and evolving and going through something, and because a lot of times we use hair as an outlet for our self-expression, like you said, why we can't be out here judging another sister for how she's wearing her hair and not knowing her story or her, you know what I mean, or what got her to that place and why she chose to wear her hair the way she's wearing it at the moment, because there's a story behind that as well.
It definitely is always a story.
Yes.
It definitely is.
Yeah, that's a book. If my hair was a book, the things it would tell. Okay, so a little bit segueing back to VK Beauty Bar. I know that you both, and this goes back into you working with other women and other supporting other businesses, and working together to help each other grow. I know that you offer products that you retail and offer at your salon as it relates to hair and skincare. Can you tell us a little about some of those? And I'm curious to know, like, what was your process of vetting your suppliers for these products? Because I know these are products you using on your clientele's hair, so I know you have to like go through like a certain process to make sure that this is
one. Well, because some of the people that we use, for one, we use more than one product. It just all depends on that person's hair and what their hair care needs are. So it's not one certain particular product that we use, but to get like who we supply from and everything, just kind of by working in the suites, we did have different vendors that would come around, and I would ask them to try different stuff or say, what's the top seller, or try it out on my hair or try it out on my daughter's hair before I start using it on the clients. Just kind of use it a couple of times to kind of get the gist of it, to see how it feels. One of the product lines that we do like to use is Nairobi. They do have items for natural hair, relaxed hair, just all type of hair. So if you wanted to twist it out, they have foams and creams for that. I really do like their scalp balms that they have that we retail. We have shampoo and conditioners, leave-ins, shine sprays, just everything. And we do use it at our salon. We wouldn't, retail anything that we don't use to clients. We just want you to, keep maintaining what we've done so far, instead of you going to like Target or going to Walmart and spending $50 and $60 on products and you don't even know what you're doing. Like, you don't know what type of hair you have or what your hair needs. You don't know if you need moisture in your hair or if your hair has too much moisture. You don't know if your hair is oily, things like that. So that's where it comes back to talking to your stylist and, that relationship that you build with your client. So it's just all about, just using just different lines. It's kind of like what I was trying to say, just something where you have to kind of trial by error type thing. And maybe like, okay, well, I like this shampoo, but then I don't like this shampoo in this line. Because it's not that we like everything in Nairobi. It's just we do have some favorites. And then we also have some by Mazzani that we do like. We have Joyco that we like, just different type of products like that. And our suppliers are always constantly telling us, hey, this is something new that's out. You may want to try this out, or they'll let us do like a free trial of it and we'll test it out and say that did really work or it did work, things. We also retail Her Healing Hands, which is a Oregon natural hair, not natural hair, I'm sorry, a natural skincare line.
Yeah, and like it goes back to what Christian says in the process of vetting suppliers. We do look for a supplier that offers a broad range of supplies. And right now, our strongest hairline that we are retailing is Nairobi, and that is one of the reasons we do retail Nairobi because it's very broad, because we have clients with dry hair, like Krisha said. We have clients with oily hair. We have clients that wear twist outs. We have clients that wear silk presses. And Nairobi kind of does it all. And it kind of works for, our clients for the different textures, or, breakage or whatever issues they're having at that time. They offer a broad range of supplies. So that's why we chose Nairobi. But yes, that's one source of what we use to vet suppliers. We also have a skincare line called Her Healing Hands. It's an organic skincare line, and we actually came about that product actually through a client that comes in our salon that makes all of her own supplies. They work, they're very concentrated. They're not water-based. So when she says, she's using H2O or not H2O, just say rosemary or whatever type of oil or scrub she's put together, those ingredients in there are very potent. They're not watered down, so they do work. That is one reason why we chose to go with that product, because we would always hear clients say, oh, my skin, I have bags under my eyes, I have blemishes, I have this, I have that. We would always hear a lot of skin issues. So when our client mentions to us that she was doing a product line, we were like, oh my God, we would be so interested in, retailing that. And that just goes back to working with other women, how powerful things can be when you all come together and, piggyback and feed off each other's ideas, because we're strong believers in, a lot of organic products too.
Right. So yes, it's definitely been a blessing. She's the owner of Her Healing Hands. So to actually be able to bring something into African American women in skincare line that actually works, it's definitely a blessing. You know what's in it. It's not all those toxins when you go to the stores and read on the back of the label and see all those ingredients, and you have to Google what it is. So it's not a whole list of things that she puts in her products, as well as when we use the Nairobi products. They don't have a lot of ingredients in their products. It's basically get straight to the point, and it's there to serve the purpose of what we're doing in our salon.
Yeah, I love that. I love how y'all I just love the idea of how y'all support one another, and you also support the people within your community and your clientele. And, we love seeing Black women supporting other Black women. And obviously within these hair care lines as well. I want to know, how important was it for you both to educate yourself and perfecting your craft? Like, I know, Vanielle, you talk about you specialize in extensions, and Krisha, you specialize in cuts, and both y'all do, I think, color, and just, I mean, y'all specialize in a vast array of things, but specifically for the both of you, healthy hair is the most important thing for both of you. But I just want to know, like, how important was it for you to educate yourself in your specific crafts? And then just kind of like a follow-up is, what advice would you give to someone, would you offer to someone wanting to break into any form of entrepreneurship?
Well, I think that the important thing when you're trying to break into entrepreneurship, it's so many talented people out here, especially with the internet being at the forefront. We have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You have all these artists and creatives that have this space to, express themselves. It's very important when you are stepping out to be an entrepreneur is do the thing that everybody is not doing. It's like, okay, everyone is doing extensions, but how can you specialize in that and be different in that, because that's what's going to make you stand out, because you can get a good weave, just about anywhere now, so what makes you different? What's exceptional about what you offer? So I think that it's very important to dive deep into, your specialty and perfect that. And, like I said, once you find your niche, your specialty, to figure out what makes you stand out, what's different about that, because we all have our own gifts, and that in itself is, your power, to make you stand out. So you just have to think of things, just if most salons are not open on Sunday, be the salon that's open on Sunday, just think outside the box. I think that's very important when finding your specialty and, when you step out to be an entrepreneur, because, it's like I said, there's just so many talented people out there now. It's just, you just have to find ways to be innovative and different to stand out.
And then with the training and things like that, as far as in like hair color, you can never get too much training, so constantly watching, videos and keeping up on the latest trends, the easier way to do something to save more time, but still get efficient results. Taking classes, like different, going out of state, not or in state. We have online, that you can kind of get training from. You can, we'll come up here and try to do extra training. And, or if I watch Vanielle do a color a certain way, I'm learning right then. Or if she watches me do a color a certain way, she's learning. So it's like, that's a separation from being in a suite by yourself or being out on the floor with someone. You really can learn and feed off of someone. Like, oh, I didn't know she could do that way, so let me try, or, hey, what was that you were doing on that client, so I can try it on my next client, or what's the process, or, just seeing the before, the during, and the after of things like that is very important to keep education in your life. And my advice for people that's kind of upcoming and out is, definitely when you graduate out of a beauty school, you would need to go work for someone. I would not advise anyone that has graduated out of beauty school to just jump out there and go get a suite and be in a room by yourself. Because what's going to happen is you're going to eventually get discouraged and you're going to be like, well, I'm not learning anything new. And then if you're behind the chair working so much to where you have to pay that suite rent, you're not going to have time to be able to go and take the classes or travel and do this, that, and the other. But when you start under someone and you learn more, because beauty school only teaches you the basics. It doesn't really dive into, oh, well, how do I fix this color? Or how do I do this? But when you're working and someone takes you under their wing, they're actually teaching you. Like my old boss, he taught me a lot of different ways to color. He certified me in L'Oreal Professional Color Hairline. So I am a certified colorist. So if I had not have done that and just kind of tried to venture off on my own, I wouldn't know how to do anything. It was just, I would still be kind of closed off and still doing it like I was still in beauty school.
Yes, and when you step out to be an entrepreneur, constantly, especially in being a cosmetologist, this is a area where it's constantly evolving. You have to level up. You have to evolve. You can't be the stylist. I've had clients come in and say, well, I've been with my stylist for 10 years and, I really love her. She's the greatest lady on earth. But, she's still doing roller sets,
she won't cut my hair.
Or she doesn't do, hair that isn't relaxed. She doesn't want to get into the natural trend. You have to keep up. You have to constantly evolve and level up, because our, clients, we're just natural. We have wandering eyes. You can be doing a client for 5 years and it's a salon across the street and it's like, oh wow, they're over there doing this is new and innovative thing. Their eyes are going to wander. So you have to level up and you have to constantly, evolve, stay one step of the game, and also keep yourself together. Look like that girl, that people want to come to. Don't come to work with your hair all over your head. I know a lot of people are like, well, this is my business. I can run it how I want to run it, and I can, wear what I want to wear. But, you attract what you put out, so if you want to be that girl that, has a full book and that is keeping clients coming in, be the new innovative fresh face that clients like to see, so that would be my advice, because a lot of times we can get comfortable and complacent. It's like, oh, I have all these clients, I'm booked and this and that and this and that. but not for long if you're not leveling up and staying on top of your education and diving into your niche and, figuring out what makes you stand out. All of those things are legs that kind of support your business, that will keep your business going.
I love that. Yes, and this is just in general, if you're not one that continuously doesn't want to evolve and get better, then it's like, what you doing with your life?
We get bored too. They come in, I'm like, oh my God, if I got to flat iron this hair for one more time.
Yeah, believe it or not, clients say, I just want the same, the flat iron
all the time.
But they don't. They always want something different. Always want something different. You have to pull it out of them. Like, come on, girl, let's do this bob. Or
right.
But are there sometimes moments where you push back? It's like, because I get that you want to definitely be on trend, you want to learn different things, but sometimes are there something that you push back because it's still healthy care is still the forefront where you're still having to lead with that.
Yeah, it's like times where it's kind of like, no, we're not doing it. I don't do that. Yeah, we had those times where they'll come in and be like, I want to be bleach blonde and gotta relax. Yeah. I'm like, girl,
we have some clients that want to change a little bit too much.
We were like, okay,
hold on now, it just went blind.
Like, wait. Yeah. So we definitely get those in there, or it may be a client and be like, okay, I think I want to do a middle part today. I'm like, you don't want to do this middle part, but we gonna try it. But they'll come back and be like, girl, I had to switch it back over by the time I got home. I'm like, well, at least you try, so it's all fun and games. It's funny.
No, I actually appreciate that because for one, I don't want to be out here in these streets looking foolish, and then two,
no, we'll tell you.
And I know, and I was like, this is we're carrying your work, so as a stylist, you're like, okay, you are a walking billboard of me,
right?
So I want to make sure that I'm doing it.
Those times they're coming in like, I want you to curl it this way. I'll be like, don't tell nobody I did it. Like, don't even tell that I did that because no, this is not something I would approve it of. But I'm gonna let you rock it this one time. But we're going back to normal. Like, right. I swear, you wouldn't even believe the stories that we have.
Yes, and do you guys happen to because I know sometimes hair care, as cosmetologists, you have to kind of, like, you're not dermatologists, but you do work with, I know sometimes there are clients that may have, conditions, they may cannot wear certain products or certain things in their hair, but they want it so bad because it's a trend. And sometimes you have to step into that role of like not only just a hair care professional, but kind of like being somewhat of an adjacent of a healthcare professional, because health is important too when it comes to your hair and you. Have you found yourself in those tricky moments of having to really tell a client no, because it's more than hair, like you want them to have good health as well?
Yes, we have.
Oh, yes, all the time. We have to tell clients. Like you said, we have some clients that want to change too much. They may go blonde one week and come in the next week and like, okay, I want long blonde extensions. It's like, hold on, let's get adapted to, be blonde. Let's treat that first.
Right.
Make sure your hair is, getting everything it needs first before we do that. And then we can talk about extensions, a couple of months from now. Or, yes, we definitely have to, it's a balance with leveling up and keeping fresh ideas coming out, as well as, keeping the hair care in shape too.
Yeah, I've definitely had my share of concept relaxer, and I just
right.
And we go head up, like she loves me to death, I love her to death, but I'm just like, no, like we're not doing it. Like,
right.
And you have to get serious. Like, this is how it is. If you wanted to do that, I'm about healthy hair. So, you would just have to go somewhere else, because I'm not going to damage your hair like that, because you're my walking billboard, like you said earlier. It's, you're somebody, well, who did your hair? And that's the first thing we're going to do is tell each other, who my stylist is. We love to have that talk in the break room, so
right.
Yeah, we've had those people. So I have to protect myself as well as protecting clients,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that just goes to show too that, it's not always about that bottom line. It's not always about making making that almighty dollar. While yes, that's important because you run a business.
Why do it?
Yeah, exactly. And so I think just hearing that too, that's refreshing to hear, because I ran
there's a lot of them out there that
that'd be like, I am curious to know. This is since we having a chat. I'm just curious to know, because what are your thoughts? And if your thoughts that, hey, these are your opinions, but I'm just curious to know about your thoughts on, like, I've seen where people have talked about where some stylists be like, oh, you want a certain style, then I'm gonna need you need to wash your hair, blow dry your hair, all that stuff before you come in to me,
and then charge your arm and a leg.
Yes. How y'all feel about that?
How are you going to take care of somebody's hair who's washing it at home themselves?
Exactly.
That's what I'm like. How are you going to say you do healthy hair, but they're doing their hair themselves? All you're doing is braiding it up and putting it in, or putting this other stuff. Now, box braids, I get it. You got to come with hair, but real, like, okay, let me wash my hair at home, but I'm coming to let you flat iron. Like, what? Yeah. That doesn't even make any sense. That's part of a service.
Yeah, okay. And a lot of people don't know that you have to treat the scalp first.
Right.
If you want a healthy head of hair. So if you're not treating that scalp and cleansing that scalp, guess what? That hair is going to be dry. It's going to have buildup. It's not going to have any life in it. It's not going to perform like, you want it to perform.
And the thing about it is the water pressure at your house is not the same as in the salon. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't really realize that, like, it's a totally different water pressure. So, and a lot of people think that they clean their scalp really, really good, but they really miss areas and, things like that. It's like, okay, why relax your hair when you come and get it done? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you're cheating yourself. It's like, go get the full service so you can't complain about someone when you're doing half of the service.
Yeah.
You have to trust that person. You have to be like, well, she's actually treating my hair, washing everything. I'm not at home washing my hair and going to get it done. Like, and then try to complain about I'm unhappy or my hair is breaking or my hair is shedding. I'm like, well, you're not coming to get the proper treatments. For one, we can't really do anything if you're coming once a month. That's not really logical, every 2 weeks, or, I have clients to come every week and things like that. But yeah, you definitely have to, just talk to people, because a lot of women think, oh, well, I can watch on YouTube and do it myself at home. And I'm like, okay, but it's still not the same.
Oh, that's real.
Nothing like have somebody helping you out.
Right.
Okay. Well, y'all, this has been such a good, enlightening conversation, and we thank y'all for just being, open and sharing your experience. Before we kind of head out, we have this segment that we've just kind of coined just now, as of now, called From Your Hairspective. So we're going to ask a few questions from your perspective, hairspective. We actually, some of these questions were pulled from some of our listeners. So we want to ask you guys, especially right now, because, we're going through the COVID-19 crisis right now.
Right.
And a lot of us are itching to get y'all's magical fingers in our heads again. But until that old fateful day returns, we just want some, we want to hear from the stylists themselves, the people who are trained professionals in this, kind of what we can do during this time frame. So first question I'll throw out, someone asked, where do you stand on putting oil directly on your hair? Some specialists say no oil because it creates a barrier for the water to be able to hydrate the hair, while others say you need oil to keep your hair moist. What is your perspective?
Well, it depends on the hair type. You have hair that has high porosity. You have hair that has low porosity. And what that means is, some people have low porosity where their hair, that is when your hair has the ability to not absorb any oil. So, it just, as soon as you put oil in it, it just dries right out. As soon as you go outside, it's just back dry. Even when you shampooing it, the conditioner doesn't stick. For those type of people that have low porosity hair, we would advise steam treatments, because steam kind of it's almost like, it opens up those hair strands and lets the oil and conditioner kind of penetrate. Those are the type of people that need to steam to put moisture in their hair, because without moisture in the hair, African American our hair is dry by nature. Without that oil and conditioners, it will just get dry and break off, kind of just like a plant. So for people with low porosity, yes, you need to put as much oil and conditioner in your hair as you can. But like I said, you're going to need a steamer to kind of open that hair shaft up for that hair to absorb. People with high porosity hair that hold on to moisture, that gets very oily, it sits on the hair, they don't need much, not so much. You don't need a lot of product. You are the people that kind of need like lightweight products, not a lot of oil, because your hair is producing oil at a faster rate and it holds on to oil. So it just really depends on the hair type when you're talking about, oil and conditioners.
Awesome. And I actually know a little something about porosity. I've been trying to, learn some stuff about hair. And one I've learned was like this hair strand test. Is this true that, I guess it depends on like if it's, can you do this only if your hair is in a natural state, or can you do it when it's relaxed? Like do like a hair strand and put it in water, and if it floats, it means is it high porosity or low porosity?
You can do it with either or relaxed. You can see it with relaxed or non-relaxed. It'll, either float to the bottom or kind of be midway, or it'll float to the top.
Okay, so if it floats,
my actual professional opinion, I would say, just go in and actually have a consultation with the stylist to kind of really be able to look at your hair.
Right. Yeah, I go see your professional. Are you do virtual consultations since we're in this space? Can you really get a clear, like?
Kind of hard, because when we do the consultations with clients, we actually, take your hair down, kind of feel it, right, go through, look at your scalp, and really actually go in detail. We can look on, virtual consultations, but to get the better information that you would be looking for, it's best to kind of go into a salon and actually let somebody get their hands on your hair, because we can really feel if it's moist, we can feel if it's dry, to kind of really tell you what you need.
Right.
Yes, and right now, nurturing clients' needs as far as hair care, we do have a Facebook private group for our clients, and, we are selling hair kits curbside with an instructional card on there that tells you everything to do with your hair. Also in that Facebook private group for clients, we're telling you, almost every other day what to do, and that's a platform clients can go to and just ask us anything. We have clients that get on there and ask all types of questions. Well, my hair is shedding. What do I need to do this? My hair, it won't lay flat under my wig. We'll get on there and answer them, immediately. So as far as the virtual conversations, virtual classes or consultations, we're not doing those, but we do have a platform where clients can go and ask, and if they need us, we chime in and answer all their questions.
Perfect. And once we get closer to the end, which we're getting close there, we'll ask y'all to share that information, like where we can go, where listeners can go to be able to get a little more in-depth information on those classes. So my next question, from your hair perspective, what's one hair care product that you can't live without?
I think the detox shampoo. I like to do a detox and cleanse everyone's scalp, cleanse everyone's hair, because a lot of people think, their scalp is clean, and it's not. You're not getting the scalp clean. You kind of have to detox just like your body, just kind of get all the buildup off of it. I think that's my number one product I can't live without. And you can do that. You don't have to have a shampoo. I mean, if you are on a budget or can't come to the salon right now, we recommend, the apple cider vinegar cleanse for your scalp. There are other ways to detox your scalp and kind of clean everything off.
Nice. Nice.
I'm gonna agree with her on that one. And my second one is an actual blow drying serum that I use by Nairobi. That's really, really good. It's like a leave-in conditioner that really helps seal the bond down of the hair. You know, sometimes with blow drying, you see all those little pieces sticking out, your actual hair follicles, you know, and sprinkles and breakage and stuff. This really seals down the hair follicle, and it's really good to blow dry with. You don't have to use a lot of product to flat iron with afterwards. That's how we're able to get those silky looking silk out. So that's my other one. But the number one is actual scalp detox for me too.
Okay, I've seen the pictures and the videos of the silk outs, and boy, y'all be silking out some hair. It was good, girl. I'd be like, dang it, why am I don't live in Arkansas anymore? But I'm telling you this, next time I come home, I don't come home very often, but next time I do, I will make sure, like ahead of time, to
book ahead,
to carve out some time and make an appointment to come see you. Ladies.
Oh, right, girl.
Both of us.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
Woo. Okay.
Okay, what's one hairstyle that you've always wanted to try but never attempted, either on your hair or on your client's hair?
One hairstyle that I want to try.
I want to go blonde.
You just go blonde.
Okay.
Like blonde. Like I'm terrified.
Like platinum blonde.
Like honey blonde mixed with some platinum blonde in it, you know.
Okay.
I've never tried to go that extreme with mine because I'm like, you know, I'm scared. You know, I'll get it a little light when I make brown again. I was, you know, pretty light, but I only can last for about a month or two and then I'll do it. But to try something new, I would try to, you know, go blonde.
Okay. Blonde it is.
What about you, then?
I think I would try to get my natural curls to pop. For me, I'm just so busy in the salon and with my kids. The curls are a lot of maintenance. So I am a natural straight, which means I don't have any chemicals, but I always with my hair straight or it's an extension. So I would probably try to let my natural curls pop and just be free for a while.
It would be pretty.
No, I've lived that life too, the natural straight life. Because I used to always, I loved my little Tony Braxton pixie cuts, and I was like, I don't want to relax it, but I want like I want like the short cut. So I used to do
pixie cut.
That was me. I told you I'm always chopping my hair, but actually the one style that I actually want, I've been kind of going back and forth. But if I can keep my hands out of cutting my hair or have other people cut my hair, I actually would like to try locks.
Oh yeah. Are you talking about like the sister locks or the other lock, like the actual dreadlocks?
You know, it's funny because I've actually gone back and forth. I just love.
I really like those sister locks, but it just takes so long.
Yeah, that's the big thing with sister locks is like the maintenance and in that time. But because I'm I'm more of a free spirit, and I just want my hair to just be free. So so sometimes I get into those modes. I was like, oh, I would love to, but then I'm not gonna lie, I'm conscious. I'm self-conscious, especially around the nape, the back of my hair, because that's my weak spot, and it breaks off a lot. It'll grow and it'll break out. Maybe I need to come holler at y'all, see I can look at it and tell me what's going on, because it'll grow.
You scratch it with like a straight. You probably have like a stress spot.
Yes, I think that's what I think.
Yeah, some people have like that stress spot where it kind of like dig in their scalp and don't really realize they're doing it. And it breaks it off.
Yes. And so that's why I'm always just cutting my hair, because when I feel like it's growing and then that little spot just won't do right, so I'm like, I'm just gonna cut it. I'm cutting it all off again. So but yeah, I would definitely, one day I may be a lock.
Well, the good thing about locks is you can comb them back out.
True.
Yeah. Like you could try it out for a month or something. Like, okay, this ain't working. Just comb it back out. One of our kids, she just did that to hers.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily the trying spot because Tyria knows me. I would try something. I'll experiment with my I may be a stylish dream because I'll be like, yeah, Laura, let's try it. But
that's our favorite.
But yeah, that would what I would say would be for me. What about you, Tyrion?
It's probably it hadn't been till I probably got into my 30s, late 20s, and well into my 30s, where I was comfortable with the idea of like, stepping outside of the box and trying different things. So it's, just with the last 5-6 years where I'm like, oh, I might try that, or I'd be willing to try doing that with my hair. But I don't even know the name of this style, so forgive me. But it's like the really short cut. And I think I've seen like a lot of natural girls wearing it, where it's like a little texture on the top, but it's almost like faded around. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you're talking about like faded on the sides and like the top real long and curly?
Yes. I be thinking that's cute, but child, part of me scared, but I tried.
That's what I wanted to do, but I just let mine grow out. And I was like, oh, I can't.
Like I would like to try something like that, but then again, I'm like, I'm growing my hair out. I don't know.
Right. You gotta try it. Look at me, I'm over here scared to try anything.
Right. You're like, I tried if you tried.
Well, don't ask me because I'll always be that friend. Girl, go ahead.
Right.
You really do.
Pumping each other up.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Well, y'all, this has been. We can talk here all day. Y'all know I done got excited.
Yeah.
I got some more things I can ask, but we ain't gonna hold him up.
Right.
We thank both of you, Vanielle and Lakrisha, for taking the time to share your story and hanging with us today. Y'all are at the salon. Y'all actually went to the salon and to chat with us.
Yes, they did. They pulled up.
Y'all was about to go do each other hair back here.
for other Black women.
Thanks for looking out.
Building these platforms for other Black women to come on. We are thankful.
Yes, of course. And, we want to definitely, even without this current circumstance going on, we always want to shine and uplift our Black women that are, doing phenomenal things. But for those listening, even more so right now, times have kind of got us to a point where we're shifting things in our business, and unfortunately that has had a great effect, as we all know, with our salons. So definitely do all your best to continue to support your stylists and think of them. Even if you got to pay for a little quick tip before you try to put in that box perm, please go consult your stylist. Right.
Be like, better yet, don't even buy the box perm. Just be okay for a little bit.
Right. We don't need
not too long. We all have been off since like March 23rd.
Right. We don't need them having bigger projects for when they do reopen.
When they come back.
Yes. Lord, I'm scared. I'm scared. There's probably some veins cut somewhere and everything else. Oh Lord.
Right, Lord, I'm scared when it's only Black when they come back. Lord.
We just hope we trained them right.
Right.
Oh, I can't wait for the doors to be open. Y'all are probably, just make sure y'all appointments set are straight, because I know people are going to be knocking the door down to get into that chair.
Right. I'm over here telling my fiance, I'm like, I'm working from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., 10 o'clock at night. He's like, no, you're not. I'm like, okay, you're right. But I'm going to be so excited to come back.
Okay, well, as we wrap, just a few closing questions that Terry and I have, and then I promise we'll let you both go. We always ask every one of our guests that come on the show, what's a power word that's leading them for the year? I know this year has been a little unique than most years for us, so that word probably could have changed. What would you say, if you can think of one word, what would be your power word for 2020?
I think we can only pick one.
I'm gonna let you pick yours.
I mean, we've had some people throw in a couple, but yeah.
I'm gonna say Evolve, and you said one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Evolve.
What's your other?
I think collaboration.
Good. Yes.
Mine is network and support. I know y'all said one, but I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Probably like network and support, because I think we should all support each other. Without each other, I don't think we really can grow. So that's something that I think we really need to get back to, like back in our ancestors, you know, how they used to support each other. So support would definitely help build the African American, you know, industry.
Yes.
Yeah, as our good friend says, support is sexy.
Support is sexy. Hey, Lane.
Yes.
Yeah, those are great words for 2020, and I think we are definitely, especially right now, we are trying our best in new and innovative ways to collaborate. We're having to evolve and network and of course support each other, and that's what we love doing here on our show is obviously giving Black women a platform to share their stories, their expertise, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything else, and the and just to show the world, who we really are from our perspective and our narrative. One other question I do have for y'all is, I know you guys are kind of just waiting for the green light to be able to get back in the salon and do what y'all do best. And I know y'all have the hair kits that y'all are doing right now, which I think is really cool that y'all are still able to connect with your clients to make sure that they're taking care of their hair. But is there anything special in the works or new in the works that y'all have coming up this year?
We had a few different things. Hopefully we'll be able to do it. We were going to do, one of the things we were doing was like a Little Rock market night where they have a lot of different vendors and people go out downtown Little Rock and kind of just show what you're about and what you're offering. We're going to start doing not podcasts, but we're going to start doing like little videos showing, different ways to flat iron your hair or, just more things like that, more tutorials and whatever.
We also have a product it's in the talking works that we were planning on coming out with this summer. With everything going on, it might be a little bit delayed, but we do have a product line that is in the works.
Nice.
And that will be consumed of the majority of rose oils.
Okay. Get us together. I love it.
No, I just said, come on, product line. Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm like. Y'all out here doing things,
videos,
okay?
Yes. We might need to keep y'all, if y'all are open. We're like, hey, can we have a haircare moment? A haircare moment with VK Beauty. No, thank you. No, we wish all the best for that and what's to come. We know that y'all will excel in all that you do. We hope that your business continues to flourish and that you're guided by the gifts. You lead with that, and I feel like your path will always be open and set for you guys because what y'all do is definitely essential.
Thank you. I feel like I'm essential. I don't know about nobody else, but I'm essential to this hair.
That's right.
And we need to see more of our, products made for us, by us, for us.
Right.
Yeah.
And readily available to us. What you say?
I just said, I was saying yes to both of y'all.
Right.
So yes, definitely, we would definitely stay connected, and we can't wait to step foot into your salon when we're back in town. And yes, and to have you back on the show to share more of what you guys have going on. So as we wrap and close, can you share with our listeners how they can connect with you, how they can, get ready to set their appointments, how they can,
where you're located.
Yeah, where you're located, all
Yes, well, we are located in the Chenal area, Little Rock, Arkansas, in the Chenal area, right across the street from the Promenade Mall. You can find us on social media at IG, VK_beauty bar _ and also Facebook, VK Beauty Bar. And if you're needing to book an appointment, you can book at link.tree/VK Beauty World or find us on Style Scene.
Yes. So all our listeners, I don't know if y'all caught on to that, but Vanielle and Lakrisha are located in Little Rock, Arkansas. We've got listeners all over the place. But hey, if you're not located in Little Rock, that's okay. If you're driving through, got a layover, something like that, make sure you book an appointment and see these ladies. Go support these ladies.
Yes, their hair care has no jurisdiction. If you're in France, listening,
we welcome all.
Yes, if you're visiting from Italy, come on down to Little Rock, Arkansas. They got you.
They got you. They got you. Well, I just want to say thank you to you both so much for saying yes. I slid into Lakrisha's DM the other day because
I said yes.
Because I have been, how, like we're friends on social media and all that stuff, but I see when people are moving and shaking and really out here doing things, and I was like, man, I told Yana, I was like, I think I'm gonna reach out to her because I was like, I really like what they're doing. I see them moving and doing good big things, and so I was like, hey, and why not now? You know what I'm saying? Especially because we're all in quarantine and practicing social distancing and all the things. Like, let's have them on and let's talk. Let's hear from the experts about how to make sure we're taking care of our hair and different things like that. And so just thank y'all so much. I'm so glad that you said yes and that y'all came on to share your story. And I've had a wonderful, wonderful time today. What about you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
It was a good talk. I definitely enjoyed this and needed to get out that house for sure.
Yes, get us out the house.
You're welcome. Well, we're glad we can help.
Crazy. Right.
Yes, as what Terry said, we thank you. And again, thanks to our listeners always for rocking with us as we shared that, Terry and I do not hold this space lightly. We really, truly value what we do, and we stand firmly in the vision that we have for Melanated Conversations. It's always our desire and dream to continue to amplify the voices of Black women and to share their stories of transformation, share in our lessons and celebrating our successes together. So thank you for always being here to supporting that and those efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. I definitely enjoyed it. Look forward to doing it more often.
So fun.
Awesome. Well, I don't have anything else, so I guess we'll wrap here, and until next time.
All right.
Melanate on that.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed our chat today. Keep the conversation going by heading to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leaving us a review.
Have a story of your own to share? Email us at info@melanatedconversations.com or connect with us on social media at Melanated Conversations. Till next time, keep raising your voice.